Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the talk show. We are focusing on a hot topic today that's been buzzing in the cybersecurity world. I am talking about shadow APIs. You might have seen the recent buzz about Akamai Technologies, a major player in the online world, acquiring No Name Security, a company that specializes in API security. We have our analyst from information security, Venkatesh, Hardik, and Ayush with us today to tell us more. So before we jump directly into the topic, let us understand the background. Venkatesh, let's start with the basics. What is an API?
So, firstly, API stands for Application Programming Interface. And as the name suggests, it's an interface between two applications. It facilitates communication and data exchange for specific functionality between applications. So, that's basically a job of an API.
That makes sense. So why do we need to secure APIs in the first place?
So, as I told you, API is like a bridge. So, it's easier to exploit bridges instead of the application itself. So, attackers usually target these vulnerabilities to get into the application systems. So, and nowadays, as APIs are handling critical informations like customer records and transactions data, and also they are participating in core functionalities of applications like carrying out, uh, payment processing, data retrievals, and all. And with growing number of IoT connected devices networks, APIs are leveraged heavily there. So attackers are generally focusing on APIs to exploit these vulnerabilities. So in order to, avoid these exploitations, we need an API security.
Wow. So it's like a messenger or a bridge between the apps. Like, makes sense. So Hardik, why do we need to keep this bridge safe? Like now that we know the stakes, can you tell us what a shadow API is and how it is different from a regular API? Because let's be honest, we who even knew these things existed before?
Yeah, sure, Shaima. Thanks, Shaima. So before talking about the Shadow API, we should understand that what Shadow IT is actually is. So Shadow IT is any software, hardware, or IT resource which is used on an enterprise network without the IT department's approval, knowledge, or any kind of oversight. So similar to the concept of Shadow IT, there is a Shadow API too, which exists outside the boundaries of the normal controls and cyber defenses. We can say that outside the corporate network boundary. So shadow APIs are basically web services endpoints that are no longer in use, or we can say obsolete, undocumented, and therefore not actively managed. Application and security teams need to find such APIs and ensure that each one is either documented or decommissioned to mitigate the significant risk which is present in that. So API security is becoming an increasingly, significant challenge for IT and security leaders. In recent years, many organizations have also deployed APIs extensively to integrate disparate systems, applications, and to streamline business processes and boost operational efficiencies.
It sounds like a security nightmare. Okay, so we know APIs are important, but shadow APIs that sound even sketchier. Hardik, what are the techniques which can be used to detect shadow API?
Yeah, so there are common detection techniques. So first one, I'd love to talk about the log analysis. It is a very basic technique. So by analyzing application logs, admins can detect the presence of an API even before its existence. And second one is monitoring. So specialized tools can monitor applications for API request, which consist distinctive or discrete code signatures. By monitoring, admins can easily discover shadow APIs. Next is scanning, which is again very basic. So this process tracks an application source code to discover API usage. Code scanning, sometimes called static code analysis, which can spot or detect a shadow API before it's easily deployed in the organizational IT system. Next is outbound proxies. So setting up an outbound proxy can catch API request heading to the shadow APIs. Next is and last is API crawling or scraping tools. Essentially, these tools help you to locate a website's API endpoints and all those things. Yeah.
Great insight, Hardik. Now that we are shadow API detectives, Hardik, let us talk about the dangers.
Yeah, Shaima. So, absolutely agree on the point that now we are shadow API detectives. So, there are many consequences and dangers related to it. So, shadow APIs are a powerful tool for malicious actors, which allows them to bypass security measures and gain access to sensitive data or disrupt the operations. Operations, the common regular IT operations. So, hackers can use shadow APIs to perform various attacks, such as data exfiltration, account hijacking, and privilege escalation. They can also be used for reconnaissance purpose, gathering information about a target's critical systems and networks. Hackers can, avoid authentication and authorization controls by shadow APIs to access the privileged accounts that can be used to launch more dangerous and sophisticated attacks. So, all without the knowledge of the organization's security team. For example, API attacks have also started to surface in the automotive industry, which puts drivers and passengers at their extreme risk. So, because of that, only nowadays digital telematics is also in great talks. So by exploiting APIs, cyber criminals could retrieve sensitive customer data such as their address, credit card info from sales quotas and VIN numbers, information with obvious implications for identity theft. As organizations become increasingly reliant on cloud-based services after the surge in the remote working culture, so it is becoming increasingly significant or critically significant for them to uncover the shadow APIs in order to protect their data and systems from malicious actors.
So basically, the hackers are using these backdoor APIs, like not cool at all. So anyway, Ayush, what can we do to fight back?
So thanks, Shaima. So as said by Hardik and Venkatesh, there are numerous vulnerabilities which can be caused due to, not protecting or securing the APIs properly. So there are certain security measures which we should look for while securing the APIs. For example, the first step is to securing the API and find them all. There should be no hidden API or no API should be missed by the security providers. So you can provide a robust security for those APIs and for the applications. And yeah, the developers and the API governance team should collaborate with each other and find a robust and a comprehensive discovery process for those APIs. So there are certain weaknesses in APIs to watch out for when you are looking for a robust API security solution. So sometimes there are unsecured API keys that is left exposed in the storage or code repositories. You should look for that, and hard coded API keys embedded directly within the application, which is also vulnerable to theft of and can compromise the application. And API logic flaws can also be exploited by the attackers. And Unsecure shadow APIs, undocumented, unused, or outdated APIs can be easily can be easily compromised, and so you should look for that. And for building a robust security API arsenal, your API gateways should act as a central hub for managing API access and enforcing security policies. Web application firewalls should be very robust that can detect and block malicious traffic within the applications. And certain application security tools, which includes in-app protection, application security testing, all these tools should be in place to identify these vulnerabilities in the APIs. And there are some specialized API security tools which offers a range of functionalities like vulnerability scanning and automated text testing, runtime protection. So the users should look for this to protect their application and APIs. After that, we have to uh, maintain a secure API landscape. So, we should integrate API security testing throughout the development lifecycle, software development lifecycle, and identify and fix the vulnerabilities in early stages, and implement change control procedures to ensure proper security and protocols. And it should be followed properly whenever modifications are made to the APIs. And another one is developing reusable security policies based on API categories for simplified management and consistent security practices. And at last, it is like beyond the perimeter, comprehensive API protection. The users which are leveraging this and the vendors which are providing this, uh, while API gateways and WAF are essential, a distributed enforcement model is crucial for a complete protection for the application and APIs. And these model addresses internal traffic flows east west within your network, and in addition to external traffic coming from outside, which is north south traffic. And mobile device security is essential, as compromised devices can be used to exploit API vulnerabilities. And as we are moving toward clouds and digitalization is happening, cloud-based API security measures are also necessary if your API are built and deployed in cloud environments. And users should also utilize service mesh for enhanced API security within microservices architectures. So, and there you have it. These are the essential steps to safeguard your API and your digital assets sources in this ever evolving security landscape.
Absolutely, Ayush. So, security is a constant game of chess. But with these tips and our awesome experts here, we can keep those shadows API in check. Thanks to Venkatesh, Hardik, and Ayush for all the insights. Tune in for more such episodes. Until then, stay safe.
Thank you.